Welcome back to my channel.
Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. I haven't been making a lot of videos, even though I've had more time to make videos. It's been very difficult for me to see everything that's kind of going on in the world and slightly question my priorities in just picking something to talk about, because I feel like all the things that are very important, things that are collapsing, things that are, it's getting kind of dark and heavy. And I just sit and say, posting a video about gender related issues, is that something that's important? You got so many different topics, so many things going on, and everything is important all at the same time. But sometimes, due to the narratives changing day after day after day, something new in the not mainstream news media, but in the it's really just us content creators that have all of this on our backs and trying to pick a topic. It's very hard to pick a topic and stay true to that topic while you got all these other horrendous things going on. If it can make you feel like your specific cause that you're shooting for is not, it shouldn't be, I guess, prioritized in times like this. And I've been kind of having a hard time getting back into talking about this type of content. Not that I don't want to, and not that I don't see the importance of it. It's just like, it's a little bit different than seeing children being starved, right? Like, it's obvious which one is most important immediately. So anyways, I didn't kind of went over that introduction as to about content and making content. I'm gonna go ahead and get into the video today. So very weirdly, I meant to record this in real time, but this literally happened like, I don't know, like a day ago. So my mom showed me this video, and it's strange. It's a little bit weird and comical. And I want you to take a look at this video and definitely comment your thoughts and things down below. But this video is going to be a little bit of a shorter video, but yeah, I'm going to just play the clip and then come back on the back end.
A California family noticed something very, very, very strange on their security camera. They say a man spent 3 hours, yes, 3 hours, licking their doorbell.
Oh, God.
The homeowners were out of town at the time, but their kids were home. They had no idea what was happening outside, but the parents got an alert to movement out in front.
You kind of laughed about it.
But this was real life, and this time, it wasn't a laughing matter.
Pretty creepy stuff, comical in a sense, but still, we need to keep our eyes open, make sure it's nothing more than that.
Wake up to the noise, but the family's surveillance system notifies them when there's movement out front.
I thought, boy, there's a lot of traffic. I go, 5 o'clock in the morning. My son doesn't get home till 6 o'clock. I go, that's kind of odd. So I started reviewing the videos. Well, who the heck is that?
The Dungans just installed this new security system less than a month ago, and police say it made their job easier.
We were pleasantly surprised that the image was so clear, to the point that it didn't take us long to, to identify this individual.
This just kind of reinforces how important it is to have security within your home.
The footage also showed the man appearing to relieve himself. Police say he also took an extension cord in the front yard, but the neighbors found it the next morning. And although the situation is concerning,
You kind of laughed about it afterwards because technically he didn't harm anybody. He didn't break anything.
But the homeowners did do something, wiping off the doorbell.
Yes.
Very much so.
Yes.
So basically, it's the footage of this man licking the intercom of this house. I don't know why this particular house has a intercom system, but the lady moved there and it has that, and I guess she decided to keep it even though she has a Ring camera. And as you could see, this man persistently he lives in front of her across the street, so he comes over, and I'm guessing he's doing some type of, he has a history of doing some type of scientific experimental drugs, because it didn't really make sense to me why he was doing this, but other issues going on in there mentally. But he comes across the streets and he persists to lick the intercom. He sits down for a little bit, and then he eventually steals some of the extension cords from her house and then walks away. He was already on probation, so they charged him with a violation of probation, prowling, and something else. So basically, when this hit the internet, a lot of people made fun of it, made jokes about it, and it was very strange to see this happened in Florida. And it looks like they pretty much dropped his charges. And not to mention, I think when the police found, nothing happened immediately as he did this, but what did happen was he got found, I think, with drug possession or something like that. Another instance where he was violating his parole, and he got caught doing that by a whole separate situation, and then he got put into custody, and then the charges of prowling, I believe theft of the extension cords, and also violation of parole. But then it seemed like everything, like I said, all of those charges got declined somehow for this guy. Now, the reason why I wanted to put this story, this very weird story here, is that I think it's a good example that if a woman comes out and she says something about, a man being creepy or weird, his weird behavior, and some type of harassment, sexual harassment, whatever like that, it's very funny how it doesn't get taken seriously. And this is, even though this is quite laughable, something like this, as small as this, usually has a long paper trail, and then a woman ends up harmed or murdered from a person like this, and it could have been dealt with very early on, and nobody actually gives a F, and they just kind of like let this guy go back out and do all kinds of things, right? And so I think this is a good example. It's a really silly example of that, but it's a good example of how the main thing that I could think of, like, after the fact, about how creepy and how weird this was that now if something happens to that woman, and they mentioned that he lived across the street, like, later on in the clip that I was initially watching, and I was like, oh, whoa, like, that's too close for comfort. Now, if something happens to that woman, say, a year or so from now, then this guy has become, like, this story went viral and it blew up, but that doesn't happen all the time. Most of the time it doesn't happen. Okay, that's probably what could have saved her and her family from this creep, right? But just think about it. Incidences like this happen all across the world, all across the country. And it's not until the woman ends up like completely murked, or he breaks in, and she's she's gone from her family. That is when now he's being properly penalized, and it's on the news, it's everywhere, up for discussion, and we need to do something about this character. But usually in stories with victims, you will find that somewhere in there, the law system failed them, the legal system failed them, that they were warned, that they did police reports, that they did X, Y, and Z. And I'm also going to play another clip that I saw on TikTok about this girl who says that she has a stalker, and that the legal system has also failed her, and she is a black girl. So yeah, that's the purpose of me making this video. For today's video, I just want to let women know that, of course, with all the shenanigans that are going on in America, you want to make sure that you have some type of footage. You want to make sure that Jesus Christ. You want to make sure that you have some type of something that can hold evidence and proof. So, cameras, things like that. You want to make sure that you have the security. Make sure that if you live in an apartment, luxury apartment, any type of apartment, make sure that you know about the security. You're asking about the security. Even go after that, on a day that you have off, see if you can monitor, is that security doing what they are supposed to do? Are they actual like police with weapons, or are these just the agencies that wear the shirts that say that they are security enforcement? Make sure that you do things like, if you live alone, you can get you some really old rugged boots. If you have a man, family member, male family member in your life, see if you could get some from him, and or you could go to the store and just scruff them up, do it like a DIY thing, and put those back door, front door areas. That's another thing that you can do to help security wise. If someone is harassing you, tell a friend. A lot of people undermine doing the good old call your friend and just tell her about how, cry a little bit. Yeah, well, how can I put this? The classic call your friend and just talk about relationship issues at least once or twice. If you're in an abusive relationship or something like that, just text messages with people who aren't in relationships. Have codes amongst your siblings and cousins and your family, so that people know that, wow, if you say this code word, something around you is not right, and they need to figure out your location and call the police. There's all types of, you have to check with what the laws are in your state, but see what type of things that you can carry and have. If you can't carry pepper spray, hey, you could take a good old classic wall spray. If you're traveling too, that's one that I've heard about. Wall spray, bear spray, these type of things. I guess you could take them with you during traveling. But look into that and have your, I would just call them secure objects, objects of security on you, even if it's like you don't believe in, pew-pews and stuff like that. pepper spray, tasers. There's all types of tasers that look like little cute lipsticks and all kinds of things. Knives, little pokey stabby thingies, key rings that look like a cat, but it has little sharp little edges on it to scratch and things like that. And then also, you do have pew pew options, but if you don't want to do pew pew options, there are little alarm keychain clips. And if you're somewhere and you feel like somebody's following you, they're tracing you, whatever, and you have to run away, or you're just trying to walk quickly away from the situation, they have like little alarms that are hella loud and will echo off of buildings, right? So you could play something like that so people are aware that you are in that area and if something happened to you. But usually if there's too much noise and attention drawn, that might save your life from just a little alarm buzzer going off, or a whistle, having a whistle on you. So we can't just count on the law and legal system for things like this. And you may not be like this woman who your story goes viral, and well, these two women that I'm going to put in this video, you may not be like these two women, unfortunately, in the sense that you have a bunch of eyes who get to see the face that is doing weirdo behavior and creepy behavior, snapping or having an attitude or just mentally unwell.
I have a very sad update. My stalker case or protection order against James Patterson III was denied and dismissed because I have no evidence from the last 30 days of him of his stalking behavior. Prior to him messaging me, I don't have any evidence of anything recent, and so the judge didn't look at any of this. And when I read the message that I was that initiated the protection order, he said, well, it just sounds like he wants to apologize. He didn't ask me. He didn't let me. Every time I would start talking, he would cut me off and say, do you understand my question? Or you're not answering it. Like, he was just so rude, so dismissive. But that's all right, because I'm still going to use my voice. And if the law don't want to help me, then I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to go through civil. I'm going to do whatever I can do, because this is unacceptable. He is dangerous. He should not be on UNSU's campus. He should not be around girls, period. And I have no protection, nothing legally that says this nigga can't come near me. I have nothing. That's all right, because I'm going to have all the means to protect myself. I got all the means to protect myself, okay? I have all the means to defend myself. Do you understand me? So, now that there's no protection order, I can go on UNSU's campus. I can talk to people. I can talk to the school. But I'm gonna need help, because this is ridiculous. Like, the justice system continuously fails women because of a judge like that doesn't look at fucking evidence. How do you look at a stack of papers and say, I'm not gonna read that? What? Does he have to try to do something to me? You want him to try to do something again to me in order for something to be done? Like, oh, Lord. I'm not a quitter. I need y'all to understand that. I'm not a quitter.
You may not be. Always take your camera out and record. Whether it's for you, family member, whatever, too. All of these things stack up and add to the likelihood. Just being with another person and not being solo right? All the time, too. I know that's a very difficult one in today's day and age with the whole hyper independence and loneliness thing that's going on for both men and women, being hyper independent. That's just like an American Western thing now. So yeah, I'm gonna leave the video at that. Please like, follow, and comment, and tell me your thoughts down below. Catch you on the next one.